Welcome to the Dead Pair Podcast with your hosts, Jason Rambo and Sean Alley. We bring you all things sporting clays. Our focus is bringing new shooters to the sport and helping all shooters by giving you the most useful info from coaches, pro shooters, gun clubs, product and service specialists. The Dead Pair Podcast, what every shotgun shooter wants to hear.
Paul? Dead Pair!
Welcome, everyone, to the Dead Pair Podcast. It's me, Jason Rambo, with the guy back from Florida, all nice and tan with sand in his shorts. It's Sean Alley. What's up, buddy?
You betcha. You betcha.
You suck.
I'm excited, man. I tell you what, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah?
Yep, definitely a lot of fun.
Well, good deal. Well, hey, listen, before we get into that, I think we're going to save that here for later on this week. I know you got some cool interviews. However, we have some more exciting news. We are now an affiliate partner with Negrini Fine Italian Shotgun Cases.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
So, and everybody that's listening, if you'll go to our website and click on the Negrini banner, when you go to Negrini's site, that we get just a little tiny touch of that, and it helps us out, and it helps Negrini out, and they have been awesome to work with.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
Man, they make some really nice cases.
Yeah, I mean, help us help you. We're trying to bring you guys as much as we can in content. Always trying to share you guys or share with you guys discounts and coupons and places that you can go to get a little bit better break because you do listen to the Dead Pair. So, you know, support us, and we'll do our best to keep bringing you great content.
Absolutely. I want to do a little video, Sean, here soon about the cases. You know, we got a couple cases that are on the way from Negrini, and I want to show everybody the quality. You guys are going to be blown away. I mean,
yes, indeed.
I know, like, for example, my Kohler came with a Negrini case, but when you step into the airline-approved cases, the quality, the safety that you're going to get for your gun, and making sure that when you get to where you're going, your gun is in just as good a condition as when you put it in that case. It's unbelievable, the technology that they've put into these cases, and it just... I can't wait to show everybody these cases.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I can't stress exactly how important that is, and I'll give you an example. So when I did travel to the Gator Cup, flew down with our good buddy JD, and he used one of the standard, I don't know if it's a Cabela's or just a standard foam shotgun case. It doesn't have the compartmentalized parts in it that you can kind of keep everything separated. Unfortunately, in transit, even though he wrapped his barrel and stuff, and they were the gun and the receiver were sitting next to each other, he actually dented the bottom of his stock when the barrel slammed into the bottom of the stock. It's not terrible, but it's enough to be noticeable, and obviously he just bought that DT11. We talked to Rich Cole. Rich Cole said he could steam it out, but long story short, had he had a better case, had he had better protection, wouldn't have been an issue.
Right, exactly. So, listen, I know that we're all about the new shooter, and it's hard to justify spending a lot of money on a case when you're just getting started out. But you know what? Your gun is probably, aside from a side-by-side, okay, but your gun is probably the most expensive piece of equipment in your gear.
Oh, no doubt.
So why not spend that little bit of extra money to protect your investment? And the case is going to last as long, if not longer, than your gun. So, and it's a case no matter what gun you eventually go to, or if you step up or you upgrade or whatever, you can still use this case.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're airline-approved cases. Now, listen, it's not only the shotgun cases. They also have cases for ammo, cases for rifles, cases for pistols, shotguns. Do yourself a favor. Go to our website, thedeadpair.com. Click on the Negrini link. It'll take you to their site. Look at everything that they have to offer. It's worth it.
Yeah, so, definitely.
But, hey, one more thing real quick, and then we're going to get right into the American Field Sporting Gamebore Classic. This is going to be really cool. A lot of good information coming here.
Yes.
This is a personal thing. I've told her thank you 100 times. I just want to officially do it on the air. I want to thank my wife, Julie. She has been our producer behind the scenes, helping with the editing and stuff. So, babe, thank you. I can't thank you enough. Love you to death. Thank you for helping us, Sean and I, here at the Dead Pair.
Yes, thank you, Jules, from the bottom of my heart. We couldn't do this without you, dear.
So, well, hey, listen, Sean, let's get right to it because we are going to have David Radulovich, Mark Baltazar, Doug Kuykendahl, and Dwight Lumpkins, the guys from KL Ammo, on, and they're going to talk about the American Field Sporting Gamebore Classic.
Can't wait.
All right, on the phone with us, we have Mark Baltazar, David Radulovich, Dwight Lumpkins, and Doug Kuykendahl from the guys from KL Ammo. Guys, how's everybody doing tonight?
Fantastic. And you?
We're doing real good.
Yep.
What do you guys got going on? I know this is something that we've had some questions about, and Doug's been pretty informative to me. So we want to get everybody together to discuss this. Tell us the official name, Doug.
So the official name will be the American Field Sporting Gamebore Classic.
Excellent. And there's going to be qualifiers, correct, to get to the final?
Yeah, so if you don't mind, Jason, I'll go back a little bit and tell you how this was born. Mark, who invented American Field Sporting, and I'll let Mark speak to that, but had an event here at American Shooting Centers in Houston, and we went out and shot it. It was so much fun. It was a blast. I was like, this would be a great place for Gamebore to partner, to show our commitment to the U.S. marketplace. And so I contacted Mark. We started talking about it. He and his partners agreed to it. Dwight and I agreed to it. And over the course of several months, we came up with some ideas between Dwight and Mark and David and myself. And I think it's going to be a great event. And in short, we will have 3 qualifiers, one at the Meadows at the end of March, one at the North Central Regional up at Game Unlimited in Wisconsin in August, and one at the Southeast or South Central Regional in Covey Rise, Louisiana in September. The top point winners from those 3 events will be invited to the Gamebore Classic Invitational at David's place.
Okay, so let's back up here just a second. So the top point winners, now obviously it's broke down by class, am I correct?
Yes, it's based off of the NSCA class. In which class you are in when you shoot the first qualifier, you will remain in that class for the entire year.
Okay.
Example. If you're in B class and you shoot the first qualifier in B class, you will stay in B class for the Gamebore Classic for the remaining of the year and will be judged or ranked against B class shooters.
Okay, so if a guy starts off and he's in B class, even though he might bump to A or even double A in the NSCA, for the Gamebore, he's going to stay in B class all the way to the end, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then, so now you said the top points winners from those events. So is that like the top 5 in each class, the top 3, top 2? How does that break down?
It will be the top 5 in each class. So we will have 35 invitees to the Gamebore Classic in early December up in Arkansas.
Okay. Question for you, Mark. Which fields are going to be thrown for each one of these qualifiers?
So they're 100 bird shoots, and I've talked to each of the clubs. For the qualifiers, it's going to be a red, white, blue, green. We have 4 different types of field formats. There are 4 different types of games, and we'll be shooting all 4 at each of the qualifiers. I'm sure David has some stuff up his sleeve. He has 3 days of shooting. So he may be playing around with formats.
Gotcha. David, we're seeing you on video here. Our listeners can't, but I see you smiling. So what do you got up your sleeve there?
It's just a really unique opportunity because the place that Kaylee and I are building here in Arkansas is not meant to be a competitive shooting club. We don't have plans to have big tournaments. I literally get to design my club for the shoot. So that's pretty freaking cool because I don't have to worry about layouts and finding a place to put AFS that's already there. I'm going to have So we're going to have 3 days of shooting. There's going to be 100 targets a day, 100 target prelim, and then a 2-day, 200 target, 100 target a day main event. And they're literally going to be their own layouts, never been shot on before. And I've been walking around, since I've been stranded here in this Arctic tundra here, to find some cool places for them. And it's just exciting because I can go around and find beautiful areas, really cool terrain, and it doesn't have to be something that's already there. So I'm just really being able to use 100% of my imagination for it. It's going to be exciting.
That's really cool. Mark, I want to go back to the question I had for you just for a second. So now you said all the fields will be available at a qualifier. Do they have to shoot all of them, or can they pick any 100-bird course, or can you clarify that just a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So basically, American Field Sporting has 4 different formats that represent, that are shot as 25 bird shoots. So think of it as a 5-stand layout or a FITAS parkour. The only difference with American Field Sporting is each one of them are completely different formats. We have a format that is like 5-peg FITAS that you shoot 25 birds on. Right. There's the white course is 3 pegs that you shoot 25 birds on. We have one that emulates 5-stand, but you don't go into individual stands. You travel as a squad, but it's a straight line. So it's almost like 5-peg FITAS in a way. And then our last one is our blue course, which is like 2 stands super sporting, but you shoot 2 different sets at each of the 2 stands. So you're really shooting 4 different menus across 2 stands. So each one of these is, 25 birds each, even though with the X bird, which is a bird that you shoot once every field, that can count up for 2 points if you hit it on the first shot. So you can score 26 points on shooting 25 birds. So we will have one of each of those fields at these 100 bird shoots. So it's David may mix it up when he gets there. We don't ask clubs to stay at like 10 miles this year, shot a 100 bird all blue course. And that's the great thing about American Field Sporting. We don't have to shoot anything. I think Eagles Nest this weekend is shooting two white fields. So it's right. There's a lot of flexibility in the game. And we did that so that clubs who may not have the footprint, you could shoot this on a skeet field. You could shoot the whole thing. You could do blue, red, white, green, all of them on a skeet field. And that's one of the reasons why we built it. So there's fewer limitations. You don't need a massive amount of grounds like a FITAS field. Right. So that's one of our goals, is to make this available to even the smallest clubs. So I've asked the regionals and the folks at Meadows, Dominic, to use this as a showcase for the game as well for people who haven't shot it. So we'll be shooting all 4 of them.
That's awesome. Okay, Dwight and Doug, I'm sorry. I got to put you guys on the spot. We had a listener that wrote in, asked a question, and this is $1 million question for every single forum in the world that has a shotgun to do with it. Will there be ammunition available for the participants at the events? I think he just hung up on us, Dave. I think he just...
Hello? Is anybody there? Is anybody there?
We have a lot of ammunition coming in. Quite a bit of it is going to the Meadows. Hopefully by the time the next event show come around, that we're going to be in a lot better shape here in the U.S. for ammunition. But I do know a lot of ammunition over the next several months is ordered by the Meadows. So at least for the first event.
Well, I mean, I understand it's about an impossible question to definitely answer, but at the same time, I understand the guy's question. If he's wanting to travel to one of these events, he wants to make sure there's going to be ammo there for him to shoot. So I get the question, and I also understand the answer is very complex to try and answer. So,
well, I'll also add to that, because the other 2 events are overlaid on top of the North Central and the South Central Regional, and those 2 guys, Pete Malloy and Jimbo Geisler, are working effortlessly, continuously, to ensure that their first shot at a regional is the best ever. and they will do everything in their power, even if Wisconsin has to go down to Northbrook and pick up some ammo. There will be ammo at the regional shoots.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be a reason why you don't bring your own ammo, but if you're flying in and all of that, I understand. But the regionals, from my best understanding, are going to do everything they can to have ammo. Will be ammo to shoot.
I can guarantee at the end of the year that there will be some to purchase here. Even if the whole country shut down, we can use my own personal stash, so it'll be here.
That's mighty nice of you, David.
Yeah.
That's another reason to qualify for the Invitational. You will get ammo at the end of the year.
Shoot David's ammo.
Well, one of the things I was saying, and that's why you want to get to the finals, because everybody who wins their class, and Doug and Dwight can talk more about this, everybody that wins their class wins ammunition. And the top winner wins a whole bunch of it. So it's probably a bigger prize now, and will be at the end of the year, than it was 6 months ago when we dreamed this up.
Absolutely.
Well, let's break that down a little bit. So back up, first of all, at a qualifier, is there prizes at a qualifier, and if so, what are they?
The prize at the qualifier is left up to the club.
Okay.
We're going to provide a really cool trophy of something that nobody's ever seen before for the first and second of each class. So the events at the clubs will be based off of what that club does, and they could have, I'm sure they'll have money back to class and that kind of stuff. The real prizes are going to be at the Invitational. So you qualify, make it to the Invitational, and that's where the real prizes are going to be. You win your class at the Invitational, so 7 people, a Master through E class, will be considered a 2022 Gamebore Classic team member. By doing that, you will receive a Gamebore vest. You will receive discounted ammo for the whole year of 2022.
Wow.
You will get an automatic invitation for the champion. Will get an automatic invitation back to the 2022 event. There will also be some other awards from Otho Pro Technology and Bird Strap Leather that will be handed out. And I want to talk a little bit about the super final, if you will. David can help with this, but each class winner, there will be a super final at the end that David's going to have some tricks up his sleeve for that. It will be handicapped. David, why don't you explain the handicap system? You do a excellent job of it.
So I've been a part of a lot of events before that try to do some type of handicap shoot-off system for prizes and stuff. And the problem is they're always handicapped by distance, and that's an absolutely horrendous way to handicap something. So the way that our shoot-off is going to be based off of is that we're going to take the top class winners from every class that are here. So after you shoot the prelim, you shoot the 200 bird main event, and the high score in every class out of those 200 birds is going to go into a super final. That is going to be, I don't remember if we decided on 25 or 50 birds, but whatever it is. And that's going to be handicapped based off of a mathematical formula like they use in golf. And so what we're going to do basically is take your score that you shot divided into the high score at every event that you've competed against each other at in the AFS, and then that is going to be your handicap system. We're going to round it down, though, because the lower the class of shooter, the more inconsistency in score there is. So let's say, if you're a guy that normally shoots 75, you can easily get 5 birds more. If you're a guy that normally shoots 95, you're not easily going to get 5 birds more. So it's going to be the most even, fair handicap shoot-off that I've ever seen. And it's really going to actually level the playing field. And in all honesty, I would bet that it actually favors the guys that are in lower classes because they have more opportunity to make up shots. Now, the birds are going to be hard, but that mathematical formula is going to really level the playing field. So it's going to be cool. I think there's a really high probability, that we'll see. We could see an E-class person, win this, be the 2021 Gamebore Classic HOA champion.
That would be cool.
That's really cool. Yeah, for sure. Well, guys, is there anything else you want to throw out there about this or the series of events?
I'd recommend that they call the clubs and pre-order their ammo now. If they want to make sure that they have it. To start with, call the Meadows and see if they can get the ammo. Most of these clubs are selling specifically for their shoots. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of one of those deals that you need to only plan on getting the ammo that you need for their shoot. And I'm not sure what kind of condition that the Meadows will be in for that shoot, but they should have Gamebore ammo and other ammo ready for that shoot.
That's a good idea, Dwight.
Yeah, that's good advice. I actually did the same thing for the Gator Cup. I was able to go down there or order ahead of time based on the number of targets I was shooting, and they sold me, an appropriate amount. They're not going to let you buy like 5 or 10 flats, obviously, if you're only shooting 300 or 400 birds. But it was nice. It was down there. It was waiting. I didn't have to worry about it, so it was great. That's a good idea.
One thing I'd like to add is if you're at the Meadows, it's an American Field Sporting Gamebore Classic shoot. But at the regionals, you could still shoot American Field Sporting whether you're trying to qualify for the Invitational or not. It's just going to be another event. We're just going to layer on the Gamebore content, the Gamebore classification, but it'll still count towards your All-American points, your punches, all that stuff. All of these will. They're all NSCA registered tournaments.
That's awesome. Good deal.
The other thing I would add, guys, if David's explanation of the handicap system was confusing, you can go to our website at afsgameboardclassic.com, and there is a description about it there. But David hit it pretty well.
The other thing I would add is, if you're listening to this, I think that this is a really cool thing. I've never seen any. Actually, it has been done only ever one time before. It wasn't with AFS, but it was in the late '90s. They had the Gamebore Cup, and it was a couple of shoots throughout the year, and then the winners of those shoots got invited to compete in England. It was a televised event. You can actually look it up on YouTube, but it's very rare that you have a cool event like this that goes on throughout a year, kind of simulating like a FedEx Cup type thing in golf. It's also very rare that we get a new game in the sport that gets as much traction as AFS is getting right now. And so I think that, I've shot this game a couple times. Obviously, I think it's fun enough to, in a way, kind of build my course around it. I would really encourage you guys, everybody listening, try this. Like if you're in between events at the regional that you're trying to go to, try the AFS out because it is an absolute blast. And if you're shooting these events, there's nothing else at those regionals that you're able to compete for something more on. I mean, how cool really would it be if we have an E-class guy legitimately sponsored by Gamebore? By the end of the year, and to have a whole Gamebore Cup team for 2022, that's really cool. And the way that the point system works to be able to be qualified, I'm sure Mark has it on his website. I believe it's on my website too. You get 1 point for attending the event, and then you get a percentage of a point based off of how you scored. So by just going to these events, it really helps. It helps your point system. So that, most of these events are at regionals except for one. I know probably most people are going to go to those regionals that they will be at. But the one at the Meadows earlier, the first one in the year, just showing up to that is going to get everybody a huge leg up on the competition of everybody else that's trying to do this circuit. So if you're thinking about doing this, and you think, shooting is a huge hobby of mine. I love to do it, and it's just hard to afford ammo right now. It doesn't matter what class you're in. Pick one shoot to go to at the Meadows. Go to the other two regionals, And who knows, you might end up winning an equal level sponsorship to the best shooters in the world, and I think that's really cool.
It is cool,
so, yeah.
Yep. David, your insight on the Meadows is really a good one because there's going to be a lot of people at the regionals.
Yes.
And the Meadows has a limited number of slots, and I think that's the secret if you're really serious about qualifying and getting into this. You'll have a leg up on everybody. You'll be one of two ahead of a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah,
I've been telling all my students, I'm like, look, if you're looking, if you're in between a shoot or something, I'd skip a regional to go to that AF, not a regional with the AFS Cup, but I'd skip, I'd skip a big shoot to go to that shoot in the Meadows early in the year because that gives me, potentially 1 or 2 points over everybody else that's going, and that's the difference between winning a huge sponsorship and not. So that's kind of like the secret deal here. It's kind of cool that it worked out that way, but it'll be fun. Meadows is a beautiful place to shoot at, and this is a fun game.
Well, I have 2 more questions, but first of all, sporting clays is extremely fun, right? I mean, that's why we're all doing this. Mm-hmm. But what Mark has brought to the game with AFS takes it to a whole new level. So kudos to Mark for coming up with this American Field Sporting to begin with.
Absolutely.
Question 1, if there is another club that is interested, can you add another leg of qualifying? What I mean by that, and I'm just throwing an example out there. Let's say Dan Bailey wants to put on a qualifier at Eagles Nest. Is that possible to add another qualifier in that region, or is this something you guys already have set in stone?
Well, Mark and I had a conversation about this, and we've had people contact us that wanted to add another one, and we decided let's do it right small first.
Okay.
And in 2022, who knows? Yes, maybe, but let's go small and do it right, and then we can see where we go from forward.
Okay.
And I'll add to that. It's a new sport. If people are shooting this the first time and you're trying to compete for something important, I say to the target setters, on your first shoot, please dial back the clays a little bit because now I'm trying to figure out a new game on top of paying attention to over-the-top targets or even challenging targets.
Right.
I'm going to end up hating the game. That's sort of the same thing with this that Doug and I agreed to. Let's get it right the first time. Let's not overreach and see how it turns out, and then take a look at turning it into maybe 5 stops for 2022 if 1. 2021 was a success, and 2, if there's a demand for it. I've always said this game will only go as far as shooter demand for it, and there seems to be a lot of demand, and everybody ends up calling me and saying, hey, are you going to have a shoot in California? I go, I don't know, ask your clubs. So everybody's interested. We just need clubs throwing it, and it seems like they're starting to do that, which is really great. And this year and this tour is going to generate a lot of attention and a lot of people experiencing the game.
Well, I would say with what you guys got put together, it's going to be very successful. I mean, this is really cool. I mean, I have all my big shoots planned for the year, but I can tell you right now, I'm going to look very heavily at this and trying to fit this in, or maybe even canceling one of those big shoots to go to this just because of what you guys have laid out. I mean, there is a lot of awesome opportunity there. Like you said, David, even for an E-class guy, it makes it very, very enticing to want to travel and go to one of these shoots and make it to the make it out of the qualifier to the final. So I think you guys have done a great job putting this together.
And David and I mean, David talked about the grounds, but David and I last summer, not even knowing about this, talked about what an invitational could be. And we talked about doing this a couple of ways, and this just sort of landed. And there's something, that David has in his heart about this intimacy of, there's only going to be 35 people there. And it's an opportunity. It's not like when 600 people show up and you don't know. 35 people are going to have a memory, collective memory, because they're all going to be together. That's a small group.
Yeah.
That's like 5 squads,
Yeah.
And so in the evening, and there can be collective dinners, and this is like the inaugural event. This is going to be a special imprint on 35 people that nobody will ever experience again the first time, you know? And I think that's part of what David and I talked about over the summer was like you have this collection of people who have an opportunity to sort of go at it with each other, but it feels almost like a small party rather than a big shoot. And that's one of the things I'm really excited because it will give us an opportunity to bring some of the fun, which AFS is all about, some of the fun and intimacy that, you know, and camaraderie and companionship and all that stuff, fellowship that you just don't get in big shoots. So that's one of the things I'm really excited about.
Yeah, well, I want to add really quick. You know, when I first started shooting 20 years ago, every Saturday night the shoots had huge parties and people stayed and there'd be 500 people at dinner, 500 people at the award. I mean, it was cool. And now the past 10 years, basically people just shoot and leave. And it's less of a social event now. But that's one of the things that I wanted to do at this event. So I want to add that if I was starting the game out right now and I saw this going on, I would be doing these AFS events, even if, like, I'd be trying to come to this shoot. I'm going to make this invitational a cool enough experience that, and I promise everybody that comes, it's going to be, even if there were no awards, no sponsorships, nothing to win, it'd be worth coming. And we have a really unique opportunity here where if I can invite only 35 people, I mean, I have had so many people ask me, can I pay you money to show up? And I'm like, no, it's going to be 35 people and we're going to eat dinner together. We're going to hang out. We're going to have food trucks. We're going to do, we're going to have, it's going to be an event. We've got a lodge here for people to stay. The targets are going to be awesome. We're going to squad it based off of class. So you and the other 4 people that qualified for this event are going to be shooting together for 3 days. And you're going to be shooting with the guy that you got to beat to win the sponsorship all week. But going back to what AFS is about having fun. And it's about enjoying the game. You know, when I shot it for the first time, I went and there's freaking horns going off on the course and people screaming and yelling when they hit the expert. It is a fun game, and that's what this is going to be. And so I just want people to know that even if there wasn't sponsorships here, do this 3-shoot deal because you want to come to this because it's going to be something you don't want to miss.
Well, the last question I have is from Mark, and we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary, and I'm not sure if my address got lost in your email or whatever, but I'm still waiting on my plaque for shooting the very first American Field Sporting. Sean's losing it over here.
Don't worry, I'll make him one if it makes him feel better.
I'm just kidding, Mark. No, it's
dude. I sent that plaque almost a year ago. You didn't get it.
Sean's probably hiding it in his closet.
There's a pandemic going on. Haven't you heard about all the shipping delays and stuff? I mean, it's out there somewhere.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the plaque got COVID. It's in the hospital somewhere.
It's in quarantine somewhere, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Gotcha. But no, this is awesome, guys. Really looking forward to this. I hope our listeners are too, and I hope this gets some good information out to everybody that's curious about this event. I know Sean and I have had some questions about it. So, Mark, did you have something else you wanted to add?
I did, and it's one shoot. David, they say skip a shoot. There's one new shoot coming up this year that we just announced that I'd love people to join and that they shouldn't skip. We are doing the first, which is going to be annual, National Championship, American Field Sporting National Championship, July 4th weekend. It's June 30th through July 4th at Northbrook. And it's going to be, I think there's something like 350 AS targets. The actual championship shoot is going to have 225 shots across 3 days. It is red, white, blue, green. It is going to be an extravaganza. Nothing else is being thrown except American Field Sporting. There are 260 slots, and I will tell you this. Other than nationals, we will have the largest HOA at any shoot this year. It's a $5,000 first place for HOA.
Wow.
And you guys, we have not announced that yet. You guys are the exclusive, and I'm going to post it after you guys run this program.
Sweet.
Wow.
So
cool.
we're also doing a flip-flop contest. the person who posts social media with best pair of flip-flops wins a $100 gift card.
I don't know if anybody's going to beat David Cole.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So this is part of the fun. And one of the things that we're going to do, and I want to do this at every one of the Gamebore, I want the celebration at the ceremony to be like an F1. We're bringing American Field Sporting champagne, and we're going to shake champagne and just really have some good celebration with it. We want to bring some of the fun back into this game. Get a lot of great photography so that people can send it out, really put this fun. And listen, David talked about it, and I'll talk about it. It's fun. When the moment you step in the hoop or you step in the stand, it could be not more serious hitting it. But every other moment, let's have some fun.
Yeah. I love it. I think it's awesome. I can't wait to be a part of it.
That will be awesome, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
My very first one was the one that Doug and I went to at American Field Sporting and at American Shooting Center in Houston. I mean, I was a skeptic to start with. And, of course, we had such a great time that we shot through the rain the whole course. Wow. I mean, it was just pouring rain. And Mark was running around looking like he was drowned, but he stuck with all of us out there shooting.
Wow, that's really cool.
That was our second shoot. It was awesome, but it was wet. But I couldn't have been more delighted with everybody going. It sucks, the rain, but I love the game and I want to shoot it. I was really, by the way, this sport was built by the people, our rules and all that. It's so much contribution. People are so supportive. I couldn't be more delighted and more appreciative of this community, stepping forward and saying, hey, we want something new. It's fun. We're going to shoot it. So, and same thing with Doug and Dwight stepping up and saying, hey, we want to be part of this. So it's great. I'm really excited about the future of the game. And guys, I'll also, like you guys, doing a whole episode on the game and the Gamebore shoot. Just great. I appreciate the support. I mean, the support from everybody in the community.
Well, we greatly appreciate you, Mark. I mean, this is something Sean and I push for, is to bring new people in the sport, and you've created a whole new element of fun, another venue that people can shoot. I mean, we have any of these big shoots, whether it's a state shoot or like Sean just went down to Gator Cup, you have the 20 gauge, you have the FETASC, whatever. Now you have AFS, and it's even brought an even more fun element, in my opinion, than any of these other side events combined. So kudos to you, man. I'm serious. It's a lot of fun. I love doing it. I hope everybody gets out and tries it because I think they're going to be hooked. So,
yeah. When we'll have to have you guys down doing a live broadcast for the Invitational. I have a podcast studio built, so you guys will be good to go.
Oh, sweet. Wait, now Sean can take some notes on what he's got to do here because he's slacking over here. So
one thing that I would say to anybody that, if they have any questions, they can call myself, they can call David, they can call Dwight, they can call Mark. If there's any further questions about what we're doing or if we confused you, be happy to talk to you about it because it'll be a great event. And guys, thanks for having us on, and y'all stay warm.
Hey, I would say, on a side note to that, Doug, I would say they'd be better off calling you, Dwight, or Mark, because getting a hold of David, you'd have a better chance of getting a hold of Trump. So
he's all about making friends, isn't he?
Hey, if we can't have fun, why are we doing this? Right?
We always have a ball. We always have a ball.
But hey, guys, seriously, thank you very much. Does anybody other than the phone call? Does anybody want to put any information out there about contact? I know Mark put the AFS website out there. Anything else?
Yeah, you can go to the Gamebore US website. It's GameboreUS.com. It has both Dwight and I's contact information on it. If you have any questions, reach out to us.
If anybody wants to, if they're feeling really confident, like they're going to make that invitational later on in the year and they want to come down and practice, they can just go to cypresscreekshooting.com. Or if you can't find that, just go to any of my social media things and it'll be on there. And you pretty soon, we got delayed with this weather, but probably by April we'll be up and running. and you can come book a cabin, shoot. You don't even have to take a lesson if you come down here, but do whatever you need. I already have presentations planned for that shoot. Nobody's going to get them out of me. So I got some, I have to say, I'm just going to give a little sneak peek in case anybody wants to try to figure this out. Chromatic has a new prototype Batu machine. And if you put both of that, if you put two prototype Batu machines, a left-handed and a right-handed, and you can throw a specific presentation that crosses in the air 3 times. I'm not going to say how to do it.
Wow.
But it's, we'll definitely be seeing that in the shoot-off.
Awesome.
It's freaking amazing.
Can't wait
to
see
be
that.
good.
Guys, I will.
Gee, Sean, I don't know, man. I'm I'm going to have to make some new plans and go visit one of these qualifiers, see if I can make it.
Yeah, that's not often that they come up with a whole new schedule like that. I mean, for all of us shooters that are used to the usual grind of the normal tournaments all year long, this is definitely going to be a big thing for a lot of people.
Well, I mean, go back and listen to what we talked about. I mean, there's a chance for... It doesn't matter what class you're in.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your percentage is for the year. Based on that handicap, if you can put yourself together and make it through a qualifier, make it to the final, man, you got a chance at something.
Yeah, I mean,
great.
like David said, you could be an E-class shooter, wind up winning the HOA for the whole daggone thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be just such an awesome story. I mean, talk about a Cinderella story. There it is right there.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys make sure, if you have any questions, like Mark said, you can go to his website, AmericanFieldSporting.com.
Yep.
Get a hold of him. And then Doug and Dwight with KO Ammo, I think you'll have to look up their site. It's either, I think it's GameBoreUS.com or KO Ammo. You can look up either one and get a hold of those guys. Like I said, joking around on the podcast, you can forget getting a hold of David. No, I'm just kidding. David's a good guy. You can always reach them at Cypress Creek.
Yep, in Arkansas there.
Yeah, and social media is actually probably a better way to try and reach out to David than his phone number because he's kind of like Trump. It's hard to get a hold of that guy.
Well, he's a busy guy.
Yeah. So, hey, speaking of shout-outs, I'd like to thank, please forgive me, Jared, if I pronounce your last name wrong. I think it's Jared Harnish.
I believe that's what it was, yeah.
And he has a new website.
Sporting Clays Nation.
SportingClaysNation.com. It's a really cool place. He told me in a message, it's with all of the restrictions now and everybody doing fact checks and everything else on social media, it's a place where people can go and speak freely about clubs and shooting and whatnot. Really cool forum. You guys check it out. Thank you, Jared, for including us on your website. Really appreciate that.
Yeah. And, I mean, how exciting that whole American Field Sporting Gamebore Classic. I mean, you're going to have 3 qualifying rounds. I believe they said the Meadows is going to be the first one, and then the South Central Regional is going to be another one, and then the place in Louisiana, I'll have to go back and listen to remember what the name of that club was. But then if you get through there and you're the top 5 in each class, you're going to get to go to David's training facility in Arkansas at Cypress Creek and compete with those guys for the first time ever.
Right.
And talk about bragging rights. That would be an awesome.
Oh, man.
That'd be an awesome group to be a part of.
I hope one of us can make it.
Well, anything's possible.
Well, let me rephrase. I hope I can make it.
Yeah. Well,
you can come. Hey, you know what, Sean? You can come film me.
Okay. All right. No problem. I might bring a gun just in case, though.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah, shoot protection for me.
Right. Yeah. Back up.
It's like when I was racing motocross, the buddies and everything. Hey, look, man, we're buddies. I'll wave to you every time I lap you.
Yes. How wonderful.
Yeah. But, well, guys, we're going to run. Sean and I wanted to get this episode out is a little bit of a shorter episode because we wanted to focus on the American Field Sporting Gamebore Classic. We really hope everybody participates and gets involved in this because it sounds like it's going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, and you heard it here first, right here on the Dead Pair podcast.
Absolutely. And thank you, Negrini. Negrini, we case your memories.